Welcome back, and it's quite a wet and miserable day in southern Thailand today. This year, 2022, and the last part of 2021 is the wettest I've ever known it in Thailand. Anyway, enough about the weather. Well, what we have here are the tone rules for words that use tone marks. We did this in the last tutorial, and I explained my personal method of remembering the rules. That method may work for you, or you may need to devise your own method. Anyway, today I'm going to cover the tone rules for words that don't use tone marks. So I'll go through the rules, do a few examples, and then we'll go out into the real world to do some real world examples. As before, an important factor with the tone rules is the class of the initial consonant, low, mid and high. You need to remember the class for each consonant, and that's exactly the same as before. But without tone marks, we get into the realms of live and dead syllables and short and long vowels. And with regards to the vowel length, when I went through vowels in the earlier Back to Basics tutorials, I mentioned they come in pairs. You know, there's always a short vowel and a long vowel. So I, 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 o, oo, And just to summarise, I've written the short and long vowels at the bottom here. With the live and dead syllables, there's a way that I use to determine if a syllable is live, which I'll go through in a minute. But technically, any syllable that ends with an M, N or NG sound, or one of the short vowels I or ow, is a live syllable. And a dead syllable ends with a P, T or K sound. And I'm not an expert on linguistics, but I think that they're known as glossal stops. So if you voice the syllable that ends with P, T or K, you can't continue voicing the syllable. And that's how I determine whether a syllable is live or not. So if I can continue voicing it, it's live. If I can't, then it's dead. So, for example, with the word cup, which means to drive, if I say cup, I can't continue voicing that word. Cup, it just finishes. So that's a dead syllable. However, with the word kun, like itchy, if I try to continue voicing it, I can, because it ends with an N sound. Kun, kun. Okay, so kun would be a live syllable, but cup would be a dead syllable. With the rules for tone marks, I use this thing about suicidal farangs in Pattaya. With the tone rules for words and syllables that don't use tone marks, I haven't got anything like that. But basically, if you've got a live syllable, it's going to be mid-tone unless it starts with a high-class consonant, in which case it will have a rising tone. If you've got a dead syllable, it's going to be low tone unless it starts with a low-class consonant. And if it does, you need to work out whether the vowel is short or long. And so for a short vowel, it will have a high tone, and for a long vowel, it will have a falling tone. Now, I could say that that's not too difficult to remember, but I've been dabbling with this stuff for almost 19 years. And when you've been doing anything for that length of time, you know, nothing is too difficult. If this is all new to you and you're trying to learn all the Thai scripts, all the consonants, all the vowels, all the language rules, all of the tone rules, there's a huge amount. So what you need to do is to set your expectations accordingly. So don't think this will be easy, because it won't. It's going to take a lot of effort, a lot of study and quite a lot of time. It was about 6 months after I began before I started to sort of be able to read signs outside. It does take a long time because there's so much to learn and so much to remember. And certain things annoy me, and I may go into a bit of a rant here. Just before I started to do this, I was watching some YouTube videos and this advert popped up, learn Thai in 5 days. Well, so I've been doing this 19 years and I still haven't learnt Thai. I won't ever learn Thai for as long as I live. Maybe I'm a bit slow, a bit stupid. You know, maybe it's, you know, it should have only taken me 5 days, but it's actually taken me 19 years. And you see these things all over. I see videos about, you know, learn the Thai script in, you know, 10 minutes, learn to read Thai in 1 hour. And if you believe this stuff, it will just set the wrong expectations. So when you haven't learned Thai in 5 days, you maybe feel disappointed, you think you can't do it. But it's not your fault. It's because some other person has set the wrong example for you. And the only reason they do this is because of money. You know, they want to sell you their course, or they want to sell you a book, or they want YouTube views to get money. And the more clickbaity the videos, the more views they'll get and the more money they'll make, but they're not being honest. Now, YouTube actually has community guidelines, and one of the things they don't allow are get rich schemes. So if I made a video saying, you know, make X amount of money in the next 5 days, and it was obviously a get rich scheme, that would be banned by YouTube. But if I make a video saying learn Thai in 5 days, which is the same sort of thing, it's an impossibility for, you know, most people, unless you're an autistic savant or something. But YouTube does nothing about that. So just ignore all these claims about being able to learn to read Thai and speak Thai in a very short period of time. It's just not possible. Set realistic expectations. And for getting to the basics of reading, I was setting an expectation of about 6 months. Before I go outside to do some real world examples, I'll just go through a few examples that I prepared here. So first word means ear. It's just a consonant and a vowel. The vowel is long oo, so it has a live syllable. The initial consonant whole heap is high class. So high class initial consonant and live syllable gives a rising tone. So hoo. So it starts off normally and then rises. Hoo. Next one is a bit complicated. Again, it's a live syllable because it ends with that long oo vowel. And we have a whole heap at the start, but that doesn't make any sound. In the first example, it makes an H sound. In the second example, it's only there to give that word a high class initial consonant for tone purposes. The actual vowel sound at the front of the word is this one, which is morma, which gives an M sound. So it's the same tone rule as the other word, but it begins with an M sound. So moo, it starts off normally, then goes up, and it means pig. Third example, it ends with nonu, which makes an N sound. And you can continue voicing this word. So the basic word, first consonant is whole heap, H, then sara it, which makes like an I sound, and then nonu N, so hin. So hin, you can continue voicing it. So it's a live syllable. And whole heap, initial consonant, high class. So once again, it's got a rising tone. Hin, starts off normally, then goes up. Next word, rap. It ends with gorgai, and as a final consonant, this makes an unreleased K sound. So this is one of those glottal stops. You can't continue voicing it, so it's a dead syllable. Rorua, the R consonant is low class. So now you need to work out whether the vowel is long or short. And this mahanagat is short. So low class initial consonant, dead syllable, short vowel, and it gives a high tone. So ra, you've got to go high. Ra. This next word, similar, but it has a long vowel, not a short vowel. It means roots, like as in root of a tree or a plant. So again, it ends with the gorgai, the unreleased K, so it's a dead syllable. It starts with the raw rua, which is a low class initial consonant, but it has a long vowel. So low class initial consonant, dead syllable, long vowel, gives a falling tone. So we've got to try to sort of start high and then fall off. Ra, ra. It's difficult actually pronouncing the tone, even when you can work out the tone theory. Next example is this one. Blah means fish. It starts with ba blah, which is a mid-class initial consonant. It's actually a consonant cluster. So the ba blah is a sound sort of between a B and a P, and then it's got the lo ling as part of the cluster, so like BPL. And it finishes with a long R vowel, blah. And because it finishes with a long vowel, it's a live syllable. And because it starts with a mid-class initial consonant, it's just got a mid-tone. This word starts with the same initial consonant, ba, blah, but it ends with the do, dek, which has an unreleased T sound as a final consonant. So that's a dead syllable. And with dead syllables, we're only worried whether the vowel is long or short if it's low class. And this one, it's mid-class, so it doesn't matter if the vowel is long or short, it's going to have a low tone. So bit, you've got to sort of get right down there. And that means to close or closed. Next one, again it ends with do dek, which is the unreleased T, so it's a dead syllable. And it begins with more ma, which is a low class initial consonant. So with the low class initial consonants and dead syllables, we do need to know whether the vowel is long or short. And in this case, it's long, it's a long E. So low class initial consonant, dead syllable, long vowel gives us a falling tone. So we need to sort of tail off at the end of the word. So me, knife. With the next example, you'll see a bit of a strange symbol above the last consonant here. This symbol is called garan, and whenever you see that, it just tells you to ignore whatever is below. Now, why would Thais do that? And what it's used for is when a word in Thai comes from another language, the Thai will try to follow the original spelling. But when it does that, it gets letters, consonants that are either unrequired or misleading. So it will then put the Garan's symbol above to say ignore it. So let's think of an example. If we take the English word car and transliterate it into Thai, there are K consonants you can use for initial consonant. And there's the long vowel R, so car. So you've basically got the sound for car. But because the English uses an R, then Thai will follow the spelling by putting a raw rua. But if you do that, the raw rua as a final consonant becomes N, and that just changes the sounds. So they put the raw rua to follow the spelling, but then put the garan above. And with this word, for zero, it's probably come from Pali or Sanskrit. And the original spelling had like a Y sound. So the Thais have added yor yuck and then put the garan to ignore it. Anyway, that's the explanation for this symbol. So this word, it ends with the nu, which is an N sound. So you can continue voicing it. So it's a live syllable. And it begins with so sala, which is one of the high class S consonants. So that means it has a rising tone. So soon, it means 0. This is similar, the word below. So the ngongu, that's the NG final consonant. You can continue voicing that, so it's a live syllable. It begins with so sura, which again is a high class digital consonant, so rising, and it means tall, as in person or building. So suung. And the final example is lung, which means uncle. So again, we have the ngongu final consonant, which makes an NG sound. You can continue voicing it, so it's a live syllable. We've got the short O vowel, and the initial consonant is lo ling, which is low class. So because it's low class and a live syllable, it just makes a mid-tone. Lung. This is the first real-world example, this word here. And as well as these real-world examples being more relevant, it will also give you some practice in reading the real-world fonts. So it's 2 words. So the first word is one we've done already, mu. It means pig. It ends with a long vowel, and it's got a high-class initial consonant, so it's got a rising tone. And Thais just use this word for like pork, pig. And there is a word for pork, which is nua mu, which is like pig meat, but Thais never use it. They just use the word for pig. And this second word is grob with a low tone, and that means crispy. And the word order in Thai is noun adjective, not adjective noun, as in English. So this word here, grob, it ends with bo by mai, and as a final consonant that has an unreleased P sound, so it's a dead syllable, and the gorgai is mid-class. So the length of the vowel isn't important. We know that with a mid-class initial consonant and a dead syllable, we're going to get a low tone. So grob, so mu, grob, and that means crispy pork. This is the second example, and it says ra na, and this dish consists of wide flat noodles with a fairly thick sauce and the meat of your choice. It's actually quite tasty. They've got 2 syllables. So the first one, what looks like an English S, is actually rorua, the Thai R consonant. That's low class, and it ends with dodek, which as a final consonant has an unreleased T sound, so this is a dead syllable. And it's got the long R vowel in the middle. So low class initial consonant, dead syllable, and long vowel gives a falling tone. And the second part, and once again, like the word mu for pig, we've got a whole heap that's only there for tone purposes. It doesn't actually make any sounds. All it does is give this syllable a high class initial consonant, but it makes no sounds. The actual sounds of the initial consonant is this one, which is nonu, which is an N sound. And we've got the second tone mark. So the tone rule for the second syllable is high class initial consonant and second tone mark, and that gives us again, it's a falling tone. So both syllables actually have a falling tone. Here's the third example. This one here is 2 words. The first word is here. So we've got initial consonant is gorgai, mid class, and we've got the short O vowel written underneath, and then the final consonant is the ngo, the NG sound, and this word has the second tone mark. So the tone rule is mid-class initial consonant,
and second tone mark, and that gives us a falling tone. Gung, that means shrimp. And the second word, it's a word that doesn't have a written vowel. All we have is an initial consonant and a final consonant. And the initial consonant is so, the S consonant, that's high. And the final consonant is the do, dag. And that makes an unreleased T sound as a final consonant. So this has a dead syllable. And because what we need to do, we need to like insert like an O vowel in between. And the vowel length doesn't matter, because with the tone rules, if you've got a high class initial consonant, it's the same tone whether it's a long vowel or a short vowel. So this actually gives it a low tone. It's sod. And that means fresh. So once again, the word order is noun adjective instead of the English adjective noun. So gung sod means fresh shrimp. I'm next to a busy road. It's quite noisy, so you have to excuse the noise from the traffic. Most signs I'm seeing are at restaurants, so this tutorial is going to have quite a big food theme. This one here says cow mog, and this is the yellow rice that's very popular in the south of Thailand, especially with Muslim people. You can see the Muslim sign up here. So the first word, that's here. It starts with korkai, which is a high class initial consonant. Then it's got the long owl, not a short owl, and the second tone mark. So that the tone rule is high class initial consonant and second tone mark. So that gives a falling tone. Cow. It's got to like fall off at the back of the word. And this second word, and once again, we've got an example of the whole heap that's being used just for tone purposes. So that whole heap doesn't actually make any sound. It's only there to give this word a high class initial consonant. The actual vowel sound at the front is this one, which is more ma, which is an M sound. The final consonant is the gorgai, which gives an unreleased K sound, so we know it's a dead syllable. And once again, this word hasn't got a written vowel. There are quite a few Thai words like this. When you pronounce it, you have to add in the vowel, which is like an O. So, high class initial consonant, dead syllable, so we know it's a low tone. Initial consonant has an M sound, and we've got to add an O here. So we get like mog. It's like in English it'd be like M-O-K with a low sound. So cow with a falling tone, and then mog with a low tone. That's the yellow rice from southern Thailand.
What did you think? Was it too easy? Was it too difficult? Was it too slow? Was it too fast? Were there omissions? Did I leave something out? Did I not cover something very well? Just let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching.